Hello, everyone. Welcome to the final edition of Behind the Mic for 2014. I'm Gary Laubach along with Mike Joseph. And again, you're all invited to come to Yankee Stadium, but you better have a ticket. It is sold out. Over 49,000 people for game number 150 between Lafayette and Lehigh. Mike, can we agree that on paper these two teams are very, very similar? These two teams really talent-wise seem to be very, very similar. So my contention is this game is about us and what we do. I don't know. Do you agree or not agree?
It's tough to agree, although I'd like to, this game comes down to really, obviously, who's going to make less mistakes. But at the same time, both teams are very, very similar. I mean, Lehigh obviously off to the poor start, but won 3 of their last 5. Lafayette has lost 3 of their last 5, but they both put up a win against Colgate, a 3-point win nonetheless. But it does matter. When you get into a game like this after that first kickoff, it matters about execution, and you really kind of put aside who you're playing against. You have to deal with the roller coaster ride of momentum, and that's something I'm going to talk about in Inside the Huddle, but you really have to understand that this game is about how you execute, and I think you're right in a way. You have to play your own game.
Mike is the perfect analyst, not because he's just great at it, but because he was a player, he was a coach, and obviously he prepared for Lafayette Lehigh on a number of occasions in both those capacities. So I'm going to first of all look at the freshmen. I look at a guy like Phil Parham, who is overly excited anyway when he approaches a football game. Is Phil Parham and the freshmen the kind of kid that you have to settle down, or do you have to get him a little bit more psyched up?
I think you have to settle him down a little bit, especially at the position that he plays. And he's going to go against some nice receivers. Paris and Pelletier are terrific receivers. They've really come on at the end of the year. But getting back to Phil, I think he's a kid you're going to have to calm down. And I think guys like Jared Roberts, Matt Smalley, some of those seniors on defense are going to be able to do that with him because he's going to be overly excited to play. He's going to see the stadium. And some of these kids, think about it, they signed as freshmen to come here, scholarship players, with the idea of their first Lehigh Lafayette game was going to be in Yankee Stadium. And don't tell me they didn't, because they knew that. So Phil's probably a guy you're going to have to calm down. On one side, a guy like Mrazek on the other side, you may have to build him up because he's kind of an easy, calm-going guy. But there are a lot of freshmen going to participate.
With that said, no one on the roster has ever experienced what they're going to experience at Yankee Stadium on Saturday afternoon. So with that said, how do the seniors approach this ball game? Is it their responsibility to get everybody else either calmed down or ready to play? Or do you have to worry a little bit about seniors thinking about this is their last game and getting a little maudlin about the fact that they may not have to put the pads on again?
That is so tough. Putting the pads on and getting that helmet strapped up for the last time is so emotional. It's something that you talk about all week long, not only with your fellow players, but when you get on the phone to mom and dad at home. I came here so many years ago, and this is my last one. And but it's a very difficult situation for them. And sometimes they go, as a senior, you got to do your own thing. You got to block out the rest of the team in a way that you got to get yourself ready. But these seniors, they're going to be ready. And I think the big thing that bodes well for them is the fact that they won last year. If they're coming into this not having won, that's the only win they've had against Lehigh. So they have an up there. Lehigh's had a down season. It is going to be a close game. And senior leadership it's going to come down to, I think, at the end.
The other personnel that certainly plays a huge role in this football game is the coaching staff. You were a member of the coaching staff for Lafayette Lehigh. There's a lot of pressure on winning this football game on the guys who make a living doing this. How difficult has this last week and a half been for them?
I think it's been extremely difficult from the fact that I think both seasons for both sets of coaches has not gone the way they wanted it to go. And, high expectations for a Lafayette offense that really hasn't produced, and high expectations for a Lehigh team that had a lot of kids coming back. And so I think it's going to be a situation where they are very excited to be where they're at. Most of them have never coached in a big a game as this setting is going to propose to them. So I think both coaching staffs have a lot on their plate, but guys like Mickey Fine and them, they're going to come up with big plays, and they're going to be ready. Stan Clayton's going to be ready. Whoever runs the football well this game is going to come out on top.
Well, I was going to ask you what your biggest key is. Is that your biggest key in this ball game for a Lafayette win?
I think running the football, and Sodeke for Lehigh has been excellent for them. And, last year coming in, we had Sherman versus Sherman. Sodeke is going to run for them, and obviously Ross Sherman is going to have but Ross will have an impact not only running the football but catching the ball. He is the leading receiver for Lafayette. So getting the running game going, establishing that, and if Lafayette's offensive line can come together and do what they've done in spurts, I think Lafayette can come out on top. But running the football is going to be essentially key. You look at Lehigh side, guy like Shafniski, he can run the football, and now he presents a whole different problem for the Lafayette defense.
And that's my key in this football game, the defensive secondary. I think they have to have the ability to stop Shafniski from running the football. He's thrown a lot of interceptions this year. They need to get a couple of those interceptions and get some turnovers. Mike and I will be on the sideline for the pregame show on GoLeopards.com. It starts at 1:30. We certainly invite you to join us if you're not going to be at the ball game. If you are, we're going to be up there on the big screen. Mike's head's going to look bigger than it's ever looked before. We thank you so much for being with us all season long. It's been another great year on the Lafayette Sports Network. My thanks to everybody that's been a part of it. And again, we'll see you during the basketball season very shortly.